Alright, I got a new project this week. Over this past weekend I went to an auction. I picked up this hydraulic press for 20 bucks. Couldn't believe it. Looks like everything worked on it, but I found some problems and it needs a little work. So we're kind of get into what's going on. First thing is I don't get a lot of pressure. I'll show you that here. So that's all you get. This is the old plate they had on there. You can see they had reinforcement here and the welds broke out. I should have been able to push that back and straighten it. It's barely getting any pressure on there. So I need to figure out what's going on with that. These pins for the table, which the table is adjustable. That's pretty nice. These pins aren't hardened at all. If you hit them here with a file, it really digs in there. It takes quite a bit off. For that, I ordered some hardened hitch pins. There, you can hear the difference there. That file just goes right across there. These are going to work real nice. They got a handle, so they're real easy to get in and out of there if you want to raise the lower the table. So I really like that. We'll get all those switched out. The next problem, let me get you over here and show you. This hose here is the pressure line that comes out of the pump. But if you look at the valve right there, it says out. So I think the reason I'm not getting a lot of pressure is because this pressure line and this return line over here, which is hooked to the inside, are backwards. That jives with what's going on here with the valve handle, because to make a press go down you should pull and release, and then when you want to go up there's actually a detent on that one, so it'll just keep going up. Right now it operates the wrong way, so the detent would be in when you're pressing down, and you don't want that because you might overpress something. You don't want to do that. So I think if I switch those lines around, that's gonna be good. Alright, these hoses are really old. They're crusty. I'm taking chunks out of it with my fingernail. So that rubber's wore out anyway. This hose can't be rerouted because it goes around a piece of metal down here. It just, and this return line here, there's chunks out of it. It's been rubbed on by running the table up and down. This is the cable that moves the table. And if you go down with that, it starts rubbing on here. So that all needs to be rerouted anyway. That should all come in up the top here. So I'm going to go ahead and order new hoses, because I also don't want these to rupture on me. Because that just, I don't really care to get injected with hydraulic oil. That wouldn't be very nice. Alright. There's some problems down here with the motor too. This motor is actually crooked. It's leaning off this way. That's really not good, because what's happening with that is that this pulley is running crooked on the belt. So if I turn this, you can actually see that pulley just weeble wobble back and forth. It looks like it's maybe an aluminum pulley, not very strong, probably bent up because that motor's on there crooked. So I need to get that motor broke loose. It is bolted, but it looks like it needs slots for adjustment so that it can be put in there right. I think they just drilled their holes and didn't drill them right and thought it was good enough. I think this pump, I really don't know what kind of pump. I don't know if it's a positive displacement kind of a gear roller pump, or if it's a vane pump or what. So I don't know if it's the pump that's the lack of pressure or not, but that valve is definitely backwards, so I want to get that switched up. Oh wow, that the suction line back here is missing some chunks. Oh, and that's got a steel braid in it. So with that braid in it, that is most likely a hydraulic pressure line. You don't want to use a regular standard hydraulic pressure line, a standard hose. on intake to your pump. They're meant to resist expanding under pressure. They will collapse very, very easy under suction with a vacuum. So that can give you low input pressure, low inlet head they call that, on the pump, and it will actually cavitate and destroy your pump. It can also suck the pieces of rubber off of the inside of the hose over time, and it'll contaminate your oil and send chunks of rubber all over the system. So I'm going to have to replace that suction line too. So I'll get everything measured up and order hoses. I'm not going to replace those right away, or I'm not going to take these off until the new hose comes, because if you do that, then then air can get in there with the humidity, and it can rust your pump, it can rust your cylinders. I don't want to, or the valve. I don't want to rust up any of these components. So I will wait until the new hoses come to take these out and pump all the oil out. The other thing I want to check here, I just want to see what kind of current draw we do get on the motor when it's pumping, and at that, you know, what is currently the full load mode of it. So yeah, this is probably making you sick around here. I'm trying to get you set up. So I'm going to put an ammeter on here, and we're going to check out the current draw on that pump. Alright, that's nearly 12 amps. Let me get this pressing. 14 amps. Alright, the nameplate on this motor says it's 15 amps full load. So 14 is actually real good, and we're not getting full pressure here. So I really probably need to stick with that size of pulley for this pump. So we'll get it apart here, see if the pulley's no good, if it needs to be changed or what. But that's why I wanted to check the current, because if you run too high, you just burn the motor up, and that's no good. So, alright, I guess I'm going to get this guard off of here, and I should be able to get in there and at least get the motor mounted right now. And then get some hoses ordered, and I can change these pins now too. And then that'll be it, and that'll probably be the end of this video. I'll bring you back when I get the next thing done. Start filming that.